North Carolina's defense has its most important test of the season this Saturday when it lines up against Miami's D'Eriq King, who is the exact type of dual-threat quarterback that has given the Tar Heels fits in recent history.
I think with King, the thing that scares you is like when they run routes and you go cover them, all of a sudden, like that's the scariest play. Because then he tucks it down and starts running vertical and he can roll. So it's not like, some quarterbacks are elusive and they buy time. Ian Book was great at that. And Ian Book can really run too. But like, I think when King gets into your second level, like he runs away from people. And that, to me, that's the scariest part.
Mac Brown knows how difficult a task containing King will be, and the head coach sees a lot of similarities between Miami's QB1 and the aforementioned Ian Book, who led his team to victory over UNC less than 2 weeks ago.
It's really tough, Taylor. The same as Ian Book. I mean, here we talked all week about keeping Ian in the pocket. Well, it's easy to say, it's hard to do. And said when he gets out of the pocket, he's really, really dangerous. Well, that's why he gets out of the pocket. And you can contain him, but it's hard to tackle him. And if you look at these two quarterbacks, they're very similar in what Ian does and what D'Eriq does, because you just they can hurt you in so many ways.
From a practice standpoint, I believe that preparing for an elite dual-threat quarterback is the toughest challenge because it is something that is so hard to replicate during the week. For instance, Carolina has had true freshman quarterback Jefferson Boaz in when trying to display Miami's basic offense, but turns to receivers or running backs in his place when trying to show how quick and elusive a quarterback like King will be, and how communication very well could be the difference.
Oh yeah, I mean we got scout receivers and speed guys going in at quarterback to try to replicate the speed that he's going to have in the game. I mean, you're just not going to be able to, but yeah, just making sure everybody's on the same page and setting edges. Don't let him get an edge on the defense, because that's really when the defense starts to fall apart, especially with his speed and his agility. Don't let him get on the edge. The defensive ends, linebackers, nose tackles, everybody just needs to. That's what we've been emphasizing today in practice, is just setting the edge on the QB and making sure he doesn't have any creases to go to, because he showed on film when you give him just enough space to get outside or hit the edge, he's going to make you pay for it.
Without sacks being accounted for, King has averaged 68 yards per game on the ground, which is 12th in the FBS amongst quarterbacks. Now factor in over the past 2 years, Carolina is a staggering 2-9 when an opposing quarterback rushes for at least 30 yards, and it seems safe to say that UNC has its hands full with the showdown ahead.